Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am frankly FM84. Thank you for coming back, joining me on another video right here on YouTube. So if you've been with us for the past couple of days, you would have seen we are now in the middle of this Celtic rebuild. Our aim is to replicate the Lisbon Lions of 1967. We have gone through 2 full seasons and we are now halfway through the 3rd season. We are going to be showing you today the transfers for the players that have come in, the players that have left the club, and how we have got on in the first half of the season. Let's not waste any time and jump straight on into this one. As always, we're going to start off with the players that have left the club in the winter transfer window. So any player that has left the club between January the 1st and February the 1st. There's been quite a lot of activity at the club, let me tell you. And the first player that left the club was Christopher Julian. He went to PAOK for £3.4 million. Rio Hattati has followed him out the door. He has gone to Fulham for £7.5 million. Nikola Sekulov, he has gone to Portsmouth on loan. Josh Adams gone to Crewe on loan. We've got Luca Manelo going to Hull on loan. We have got Rodrigo Vilca. He headed off to Pumas. He wasn't very happy at the club. We only signed him at the midway point of, I think it was the summer transfer window. Yeah, the 26th of June. It's even on the screen there. Became unhappy straight away. That's how to lose £1.7 million on a player straight away. Lyle Abada, he has gone to Monterey for £15 million. Dyson Maeda went to Swansea for £10.5 million. Got Martin Baturina, he went to Leeds for £5.25 million. And Robbie Burton has gone to Jeonbuk out in Korea for £575,000. So with quite a few players leaving the club, that means we are going to look to replace them. And the first player that we went out and signed was a goal scorer, Alexandra Mitrovic. Obviously plays for Fulham in real life and scored a bag load of goals down in the Championship. When he comes up to Premier League level in England, doesn't always hit the mark. Struggled last time out. Be interesting to see what he can do in real life in the Premier League this time around. However, we have took the plunge and we have brought him to the SPL, and hopefully he's going to become a success at Celtic. For the money that we paid for him, it's probably a little bit over the top for a 29-year-old who has probably had his best days. But if he performs at the level that we can see in the Championship in Scotland, I think he's an absolute steal. The next player was Valerio Crespi. So we've gone from a very finished article type of striker to a very young, raw talent type of striker. And Valerio Crespi is a player 19 years old. You can see he has good dribbling, good finishing, good first touch. He has good heading, good technique, anticipation, his decision making, determination, flair off the ball, acceleration, agility, balance, jumping reach, natural fitness, pace. They're all good things that we can work on with the player. Hopefully he's going to be a player that can settle in and start scoring goals quite quickly for Celtic. The next player we brought in was George Johnston, a Scottish defender, 6'1", 25 years old. Came from Sunderland, even though he's got a Bolton shirt on in the picture. So I don't know whether he'd been out on loan there. You can see on his career stats at the top here. His career path was Liverpool, Feyenoord, Wigan, Bolton, Sunderland, and now onto us at Celtic. Not a player that I think will probably command a first team place. He has all the stats you would probably look for in a central defender, but I think we probably have a few others at the club that will play ahead of him, and he will come in as a rotation option. Going back to the list, and the final player that we bought in on the 23rd of January is Mr. Conor Gallagher. Now, this is a transfer that really took some negotiating. £21 million is the price that we have paid. But you can see in real life, Conor Gallagher went to Crystal Palace on loan and really showed his worth in a Premier League club. In real life, he's going to go back to Chelsea, I believe, this season and have a fair crack of the whip at the club. In Football Manager, he went back to Chelsea. He wasn't playing in the first team and he has asked to leave the club. We swooped in, put him on a wage that is £51,000. He's a 23-year-old. We've given him a contract that runs till 2028, so 4 years left. And if we can keep him playing very good football at the high level he was shown at Crystal Palace, I think he will be an absolute steal for Celtic, and he will push us forward. Plus, he's quite a versatile player. I didn't realise when he was playing for Crystal Palace, he can actually play as a midfielder, defensive midfielder, midfielder left, and an attacking midfielder. So we need to shift him around the formation. We know we are getting a player who can play in a number of positions. So in total, we signed 4 players. We let a handful of players go. We are looking for those players that are going to improve the team. So you can see that all of the players that we bought in this window, 14 million, 2.5 million, 9.75 and 21 million pounds. We went out and tried to really improve the quality of the team. Bit of squad depth too. And has that worked? Let's hit the competitions tab. We will give a little tease as to what's been happening in the league. We will then run through the other tabs and come back to this. But you can see we are currently sat second in the table, and we are 2 points behind Rangers at this point, having both played 23 games. So interesting that it hasn't really been working out in the league. In terms of the Champions League, we were in a group with Manchester United, Roma and Valencia. We ended up finishing third. The 2 teams at the top had tied on 10 points. We managed to get 8, but a -3 goal difference, and that means we were knocked out. However, that does put us into the Europa League. We will be facing off against FC Copenhagen in the next round of that. In terms of the Scottish Cup, we are still in there, and we are playing against Hibernian next, and we won the Premier Sports Cup. So let's just have a run through of these tabs then. Finances, in terms of what is available at the club, there is £43.5 million overall in the bank balance. We still have £22.9 million despite the signings that we made available to us. No point bankrupting the club at this point in the save. There is still 2 full seasons to come. We want to make sure that we are going to be able to progress the club in the long term. In terms of the wage budget, £904,000 available, £900,000 spending. So we are running this as a tight ship. Onto the club vision tab. The club culture is still strive to make progress on and off the pitch. We are doing that. In terms of the 5-year plan ongoing, work within the wage budget, on course, sign players to sell for a profit, delighted. Spend the original transfer budget, they were delighted despite us having 22 million available. Minimum 2-year contracts for first team players were not being judged on. In terms of the end of the current season, be competitive in the Champions League. We passed that despite getting knocked out at the group stage. So I guess the board were only ever wishing us to get to the group stage to be competitive. Europa League reached the second knockout round at a minimum. Not judging us on that yet because we haven't played in the competition. Since Premiership, win the Premiership. At the moment, they're disappointed that we are second behind Rangers with 2 points to go and half a season to turn it around. Hey ho, board sometimes is very realistic. At other times, not so much so. Win the Scottish Cup, pleased. And we have passed winning the Premier Sports Cup. So going forwards then, we wanted to win a domestic cup. We have passed that. Our contract is up for renewal at the end of the season, and they want us to continue winning the league. So I think the board have been a little bit premature, that they're disappointed at this phase of the season, that we are in second place and right on the tails of our nearest rivals. But that is what the board want to do. They want to be pushing on all fronts to win everything that they possibly can. Let's have a little run through the schedule before we go and have a look at the league table then. So in yesterday's video, we probably would have left it around the end of the August transfer window. So we probably had just beaten Aberdeen. So if we start off here with the Rangers game, you can see that we beat Rangers 2-1 in the SPL. Goals from Turnbull and Boga getting 3 points there. Then a disappointing draw 0-0 with Hamilton, where nobody really turned up. We had a 1-1 draw against Manchester United, which was a really good result. Abada getting the goal, Bruno Fernandes getting their goal. We did equalise late on. We were good value for a point there. St Mirren we beat 1-0. We had a 2-2 draw against Rangers that we ended up winning on penalties in the Premier Sports Cup quarter-final. Goals from Villa and Boga, Morelos and Villa scoring for Rangers. We then went back to league action and had a 1-1 draw against Motherwell. We had a 2-1 victory against Roma in the Champions League with goals from Lazaro and Vilca. We then had a disappointing 2-2 draw with Hibernian. Kevin Nisbet, who is a player who to watch out for in this game for some reason. When you're playing in Scotland, Kevin Nisbet is a top striker. He gets 2 goals again as we couldn't beat Hibs. Noah Okafor getting 2 goals for us also. St Johnston we then started bashing up 7-1. We beat them. Ballard, Lazaro hat-trick, Turnbull, Noga and Juranovic getting the goals there. We then beat Valencia 2-1 in the Champions League. They had a player sent off after 52 minutes, but Lazaro and Xavi Simons scoring after 62. We then bashed up Hearts 5-1 in the SPL. Goals from Simons, Dewsbury Hall, Okafor and Lazaro. Moving on then into November, we beat Ross County 4-2 in the Premiership. We had a 1-1 draw against Inverness Caledonian Thistle. Okafor and Samuels getting the goals there. A 1-1 draw against Valencia. Plata scoring the equaliser after Guedes scored after 65 minutes for Valencia. We then beat Aberdeen 3-0. Goals from Okafor and Villar. We beat Hibs 5-1 in the Premier Sports Cup semi-final. Lazaro, Turnbull and Ballard getting the goals there. We then had a slip-up in the Champions League, a 4-2 loss against Roma. We scored 2 goals through Turnbull and Gonzalo Plata, but Zaniolo, Pellegrini, Abraham and Coutinho getting the goals. That meant that Roma won 4-2. Motherwell then beat us in the league 1-0 before Manchester United beat us in the Champions League 4-1. We then beat Hibs 4-1 in the SPL with goals from Lazaro, Maeda and Plata. We had a 0-0 draw against Johnston, a 3-1 victory against Dundee with goals from Boga and Villar, a 2-0 victory against Hamilton, a 3-0 victory against Motherwell in the Premier Sports Cup final with goals from Villar, Plata and Maeda. We then have goals from Boga and Plata as we beat St Mirren 2-1, beat Rangers 1-0 in the Premiership with a goal from Henry Lawrence. Hearts we beat 3-0. Ross County we beat 4-1 with goals from Boga, Dewsbury Hall, Mitrovic and Villar. Motherwell we beat 3-0 with goals from Plata, Dewsbury Hall and Lawrence. And then last time out we put our first team out. Probably shouldn't have done that. Probably should have spared them. 12-1 victory against Rothes. Boga getting a hat-trick after just 7 minutes. Plata getting a hat-trick. Ballard, Conor Gallagher, Charisma, Crespi and Villar rounding them off. And that brings us right up to date as that was the last game on the 27th of the 1st as we progressed in the Scottish Cup 4th round. So back to the competitions tab we go. Let's have a little look at the Premiership. If we rattle off the win-loss record, so played 23, won 17, drew 5, lost 1, 39 goal difference and 56 points. Compare that to Rangers, won 19, drew 1, lost 3, 41 goal difference and 58 points. So a few slip-ups from us, a few draws in there to round us up to 5 draws in total. Goal difference is right there with them. We're within 2, so not too bad of a start to the campaign. We have a massive gap to Inverness Caledonian Thistle and everybody else behind us. If we have a little look at the player stats then, starting off with most goals, there is Mr. Nisbet. As I was saying, he's immense up in the SPL for Hibernian. Most assists is currently Ryan Kent, but we do have Gonzalo Villar and Lazaro in there also. Most shots, Mr. Nisbet leads the way in that. Most player of the match awards goes to 3 separate players. Conor McCarthy of St Mirren, Kevin Nisbet of Hibernian, and Regan Charles Cook from Ross County. We have Henry Lawrence and Gonzalo Plata on that category. Most key passes goes to Ryan Kent, but Plata is right behind him. Most tackles won goes to McPherson, nobody from our team on the list. Most tackles made is Dimitri Mitchell, nobody representing us on there. Most clean sheets goes to Sean McDermott. We do have Alex Merritt there on 10 clean sheets. And finally, fewest goals conceded goes to Sean McDermott, but Alex Merritt is right there also on 15. The other stats you can see, we have nobody in the tackles per 90 minutes. Team goals, Gonzalo Villar with 54. Red cards, Mr. Charisma getting himself a red card, the naughty boy. Key passes per 90 minutes, Gonzalo Villar 7.62. He also has distance covered with 318.70 kilometres per game. Tackles won ratio percentage is Henry Lawrence with 94, and then we have average rating Ballard 7.61 and Noga 7.56. So there is plenty of room for improvement in the first half of the season. We have a long way to go until this title is wrapped up. We are only 2 points behind and we have to play Rangers several times before the end of this season. I really do think we have a great chance of winning the league, even though we are currently 2 points behind at this point. If we go to the squad then and have a little look at the assistant report before we wrap this one up, you can see that it's saying our best 11 is Merritt in goal, Lawrence, Noga, Ballard, Juranovic, Dewsbury Hall, Conor Gallagher and Villar, Boga, Plata and Lazaro. That there is pretty much the strongest lineup we can put out. There is one or two players who could rotate in or out. Lazaro could possibly come out. Mitrovic could go in. But other than that, I think our assistant manager has that pretty much spot on. So then, that is us up to date. 3rd of February, second in the Premiership. We were knocked out in the Champions League. We are in the Europa League against FC Copenhagen. And in tomorrow's episode, we are going to push forwards to the end of Season 3 and we are going to show you how we get on and how we finish our Season 3 campaign. Can we win the league? Can we win the Europa League? Can we kick on? Can we turn the board's impression around in the Premiership? If you want to know the answers to all those questions, you're going to have to come back tomorrow. And firstly, if you're still here and you're listening to me right now, you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, what are you waiting for? Please hit the like and subscribe button to help the channel out. Really do appreciate it. Every single person that takes that time to hit those buttons, I really, really do appreciate every single one of you. But for this one, I'm going to wrap it there. Go and check out another video on the channel. We have a little something for everyone. There's a few tutorials. There's some Let's Plays. There's Wonder Kids. There's tactics. There's something for everyone. Go and find out what you're looking for and join me on another video. But for this one, I'm going to wrap it there. I'll see you soon.